Have you ever noticed how aging doesn't just bring wrinkles or gray hair? It brings quiet, unexpected changes that no one really talks about, like waking up feeling tired even after a full night's sleep, or realizing that conversations are harder to follow, not because you're not listening, but because your hearing or focus has subtly shifted. These moments can feel confusing, even frustrating, and the truth is, they happen to millions of seniors every day. Take Elena, for example. She's 68, vibrant, and was always full of energy. But recently, she started noticing some uncomfortable changes. Simple tasks feel harder. Friends are harder to reach. And that strong sense of independence? It's starting to feel fragile. If any of this sounds familiar, you are not alone. At Golden Minds, we're here to talk honestly about what aging really looks like. Not just the medical facts, but the emotional truths. The things you quietly struggle with but never say out loud. In today's video, we're going to walk through 10 surprising and often unpleasant realities of aging. But more importantly, we'll share gentle, practical ways to face each one with grace, strength, and a little more peace of mind. So if you're ready to feel seen, supported, and stronger, hit that like button, subscribe to Golden Minds, and stay with us. Because growing older doesn't mean growing weaker. It means growing wiser, together. Let's begin. Elena never imagined that one of the hardest parts of aging wouldn't be physical, but emotional. A few years ago, her calendar was full. Coffee dates with friends, weekend walks at the park, birthdays, small get-togethers. But lately, things have changed. Some friends have moved closer to their children. Others have become less mobile or stopped calling altogether. And a few have passed on. Now the days feel quieter. The silence in her home isn't peaceful. It's heavy. And while she's never been the kind of person to need constant company, there's something about this new kind of loneliness that stings. Not the absence of noise, but the absence of connection. If you felt this too, please know, it's not just you. Emotional isolation is more common in older adults than most people realize. It doesn't mean you're antisocial. It means your circle has quietly shrunk, often without warning, and the impact goes deeper than emotions. Studies show that ongoing loneliness can affect heart health, sleep, memory, and even life expectancy. But here's the encouraging part. Connection is still possible. It may look different now, but small, consistent efforts make a big difference. Maybe it's joining a local gardening group, calling a neighbor just to chat, or exploring an online community where people share your interests. You don't need a crowd, you just need connection. And that can begin with one kind word, one shared moment, or even one comment below. Have you felt this kind of loneliness before? Share your story in the comments, because someone else reading might need to hear they're not alone either. Let's lift each other up. We're still in this together. Not long after she started feeling more alone, Elena experienced something that left her quietly unsettled. She ran into a woman at the pharmacy, someone she'd chatted with for years in her neighborhood. But as the woman smiled and said hello, Elena froze. Her face was familiar, but her name, gone, just vanished. Elena smiled back, made small talk, nodded politely, but walked away feeling embarrassed and a little shaken. Moments like that can feel like tiny betrayals from your own mind, and they're more common than we often admit. Maybe you forget where you left your keys, again, or walk into a room only to forget why you're there. These moments can make you question yourself. But here's the truth. Occasional memory slips are a normal part of aging. They don't mean you're losing your mind. They mean your brain, like the rest of your body, needs a little more support and patience. The good news is, you can do something about it. One helpful trick? Keep a small notebook or use a phone app to jot down names or key details after meeting someone. A note like Susan, neighbor loves gardening, can jog your memory before the next encounter. Another tip is to say a person's name out loud a few times in conversation. Hearing and speaking it helps it stick. And remember, needing a little help remembering doesn't make you any less sharp or thoughtful. It makes you human. Have you had a moment like Elena's? What do you do to keep your memory strong? Share your strategies below. You never know who might be helped by your wisdom. We're learning together, one memory at a time. After that encounter at the pharmacy, Elena couldn't stop thinking about it. But instead of brushing it off, she found herself becoming irritated, not just with the moment, but with everything. The traffic seemed louder. The TV remote wouldn't work right. Even the sound of the phone ringing made her tense. And the worst part? She didn't recognize herself in those reactions. This shift in mood can catch you by surprise. You've always seen yourself as calm, patient, easygoing, but lately even small inconveniences feel like big annoyances. If this sounds familiar, take a deep breath. You're not alone, and there's a reason behind it. As we age, hormonal changes, reduced sleep quality, physical discomfort, and even unspoken stress can all shorten our emotional fuse. It's not that you're becoming a grumpy person, it's that your system is carrying more than it used to, and sometimes it spills over. But the beautiful thing is, awareness is powerful. Just noticing the shift gives you the chance to respond with kindness, not just to others, but to yourself. One gentle practice is deep breathing. When frustration starts to rise, pause and take 3 slow, full breaths. It sounds simple, but it can reset your nervous system in seconds. Another calming habit is starting your day with gratitude, even if it's just writing down one thing you're thankful for. These small moments help recenter your mindset and soften the edges of stress. Have you noticed your patience thinning lately? What helps you bring yourself back to calm? Let's talk about it in the comments. Because even in frustration, you're still growing, still learning, and still deeply human. You deserve peace too, even on the harder days. After weeks of feeling more on edge than usual, Elena began to notice something else. She wasn't sleeping like she used to. Falling asleep took longer. Staying asleep was even harder. Some nights, she'd wake up at 3 a.m. for no clear reason, her mind racing with thoughts, her body wide awake. By morning, she'd feel like she hadn't rested at all, and the tiredness followed her through the day like a heavy fog. It's something many older adults quietly struggle with, changes in sleep that make nights longer and rest less refreshing. As we age, our bodies produce less melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep, and we often become more sensitive to light, noise, or even the temperature in the room. Add in anxiety, physical discomfort, or frequent trips to the bathroom, and it's easy to see why so many seniors feel exhausted before the day even begins. But good sleep isn't out of reach. Creating a relaxing bedtime routine can make a world of difference. Try dimming the lights an hour before bed, putting away your phone or TV, and doing something calming, like gentle stretching, reading a light book, or listening to soft music. Limiting caffeine after midday and keeping a regular bedtime can also help your body find its natural rhythm again. Magnesium-rich snacks, like a small banana or a handful of almonds, may support deeper sleep too. Have you struggled with restless nights or early wake-ups? What's helped you feel more rested? Share your tips in the comments. Someone out there may be lying awake tonight, needing just the advice you can offer. Because better sleep brings more than energy. It restores peace, balance, and joy to your days. After so many sleepless nights, Grace, who once managed her days with confidence, began to notice how even small tasks felt heavier. Grocery shopping, something she used to enjoy, now seemed overwhelming. She'd stand in the kitchen staring at the sink full of dishes, knowing she needed help but hesitating to ask. The thought of relying on someone else felt unfamiliar and a little painful. For many older adults, the fear of losing independence isn't just about tasks, it's about identity. You've spent decades being capable, dependable, the one others leaned on. So when your body starts asking for help, it can feel like you're giving up control or admitting defeat. But here's something important to remember. Needing support doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. Learning when to conserve your energy and when to accept help is actually a form of strength. It allows you to continue focusing on what truly matters, your well-being, your peace of mind, and the parts of life that still bring you joy. Whether it's asking a neighbor to carry heavy bags, hiring someone for housework, or simply accepting a loved one's offer to lend a hand, it's okay. You're not giving up your independence. You're reshaping it in a way that works for where you are now. Have you ever struggled with asking for help? What shifted your mindset? Share your thoughts in the comments. You never know who you might encourage by speaking your truth. Let's remind each other, dignity isn't lost in asking, It's found in knowing your worth, setting limits, and living with intention. Your strength hasn't disappeared, it's just evolved. After Grace began leaning into support, she noticed something else, something quieter, but just as unsettling. She'd start reading a book only to realize a few pages in that she hadn't absorbed a word. Or she'd begin a task, like boiling water for tea, then forget what she was doing altogether. It wasn't alarming exactly, but it left her feeling scattered, like her thoughts were floating just out of reach. This kind of mental fog or loss of concentration is a common part of aging. And while it's normal, it can still feel frustrating, especially for those who've always taken pride in being sharp and attentive. The truth is, the brain, like any other part of the body, changes over time. Blood flow slows, multitasking becomes harder, and attention spans can shorten. But just as you'd exercise your legs to stay mobile, your mind can be gently trained to stay focused. Start small. Puzzles, card games, or short brain teasers can reawaken mental agility. Try reading in shorter sessions or listening to audiobooks if your eyes tire easily. Even learning something new, a recipe, a few words in another language, or a hobby, can light up parts of your brain that may have gone quiet. It's also worth noting that sleep, diet, and hydration all play a role in focus. A tired or dehydrated brain simply can't perform its best. Have you noticed your concentration shifting over the years? What little routines help you stay mentally engaged? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your tip could be the encouragement someone else needs today. You're still capable of learning, growing, and enjoying each moment with just a little grace and a whole lot of kindness to yourself. As Grace started adjusting her routines to stay mentally engaged, she noticed something else, something she hadn't expected. Environments that once felt lively now felt overwhelming. A quick trip to the grocery store left her drained. Crowded restaurants, loud TVs, even the doorbell ringing too suddenly could make her feel jumpy or unsettled. It wasn't about fear, it was about sensory overload. This sensitivity to noise and busy spaces is more common in older adults than many people realize. As we age, our nervous system can become less resilient, and our brains may need more time to process all the input around us. What used to feel like background noise now feels like a wall of sound. Combine that with slower reaction times or mild hearing loss, and even simple outings can become exhausting. But the good news is, there are ways to create calm without cutting yourself off from the world. One strategy is to plan errands during off-peak hours when places are less crowded. Another is to carry noise-reducing earbuds or keep gentle music playing at home to mask jarring sounds. And don't underestimate the power of a quiet break. Whether it's stepping outside for fresh air or retreating to a peaceful room for just 5 minutes. It's okay to honor your need for stillness. In fact, it's wise. You're simply listening to your body and creating space for peace in a noisy world. Have you found yourself more sensitive to noise or chaos lately? What helps you stay grounded when the world feels too loud? Let's share in the comments. Your quiet wisdom might be just what someone else needs to hear. Because sometimes healing begins in the hush. After learning to manage her sensitivity to noise in busier spaces, Grace found herself settling into a quieter, more mindful routine. But even with calmer days, another change began to surface, one that quietly crept in. Her clothes felt a little snugger. The bathroom scale ticked upward little by little, and yet nothing had changed in her meals or activity. She was walking daily, eating the same home-cooked meals. So what was happening? This is one of the more frustrating and misunderstood shifts of aging, the slow, often invisible change in metabolism. As we grow older, muscle mass naturally declines, and that muscle plays a big role in how efficiently the body burns energy. Even if your habits stay consistent, your body may not process calories the same way it once did. It's not about blame, it's about awareness and gentle adjustment. One helpful step is to focus on nutrient-dense, lighter meals that still satisfy. Think more vegetables, lean proteins, and high-fiber grains. Eating smaller portions throughout the day, rather than large, heavy meals, can also keep energy levels more stable and reduce the chances of weight gain. Strength-building exercises, even simple ones like resistance bands or chair squats, can help preserve muscle and boost metabolism too. And hydration? It matters more than you think. Sometimes the body confuses thirst with hunger. Have you noticed changes in your weight or how your body feels? What quiet adjustments have worked for you? Share them in the comments. Your story might ease someone else's frustration. Because your body is still working for you. It just needs you to meet it where it is, with patience, care, and a little extra kindness. After noticing changes in her weight, Grace also found herself hesitating in ways she never used to. Reaching for something on a high shelf felt riskier. She'd think twice before going up or down stairs, especially if no one was around. Even bending down to tie her shoes made her feel unsteady. It wasn't that she was weak. It was the subtle fear of falling, of losing balance, of something going wrong. This quiet loss of physical confidence can be one of the hardest changes to admit. It creeps in slowly, not with pain, but with doubt. Tasks that once felt effortless now feel uncertain. And the truth is, many older adults feel this way, even those who are otherwise healthy and active. But here's the good news. Confidence can be rebuilt. You don't need to push yourself hard. You just need to move with intention. Gentle leg and balance exercises, like holding on to the back of a chair and standing on one foot, or doing slow heel-to-toe walking, can do wonders. Even short walks on flat ground, done regularly, help restore your sense of strength and control. Support tools like walking sticks or grab bars aren't signs of weakness. They're tools of independence. And using them isn't giving up. It's choosing safety so you can keep moving. Have you felt more cautious lately with certain movements? What helped you regain trust in your body again? Share your experience below. Your voice might help someone take their next step with more confidence. Because strength isn't just in the muscles. It's in the courage to keep showing up, one steady step at a time. As Grace slowly rebuilt her confidence with movement, she noticed another shift, one that was quieter but just as unsettling. During a family dinner, she struggled to follow the conversation. Everyone was laughing, but she'd missed the joke. Later, reading the fine print on a medication bottle took far longer than it used to, even with her reading glasses. It wasn't dramatic, just different. These changes often sneak in. Hearing and vision loss don't always arrive suddenly. They drift in subtly, muffled voices in noisy rooms, blurry text, missing the doorbell, or turning the TV volume higher than usual. And while these changes are common, they can make you feel left out, disconnected, or even embarrassed. But here's the truth. Needing help to see or hear clearly isn't something to hide. It's something to address with care and courage. Getting regular vision and hearing checks can catch on small issues before they become bigger ones. Updating your glasses or considering discrete hearing aids can completely transform your day-to-day experience. These tools exist to support your independence, not take it away. Being able to hear a loved one's voice clearly or read your favorite book without strain isn't just about comfort. It's about staying connected to the world around you. Have you noticed changes in your vision or hearing? What's helped you adapt gracefully? Share your story in the comments. Someone else may be struggling in silence, and your words could guide them forward. Because clarity in seeing, hearing, and living is worth protecting, and you deserve to experience every moment fully without missing a thing. Aging may bring its fair share of surprises, some subtle, some unsettling, but none of them have to steal your strength, your dignity, or your joy. We've walked through 10 very real, very human experiences that many seniors, like Grace, quietly face every day. From emotional isolation and memory slips to changes in sleep, mood, mobility, and sensory perception. These aren't just symptoms of growing older. They're signs that your body and mind are adjusting, adapting, and asking for more care, not less value. But here's the truth. You are not alone in this. And more importantly, you are not powerless. With every story shared and every solution offered, there is hope. Whether it's learning to ask for help without guilt, practicing gentle exercises to feel steady again, or simply starting your morning with gratitude, these small choices can transform the way you experience aging. At Golden Minds, we believe that growing older isn't about decline. It's about evolving with grace. It's about choosing compassion over perfection, presence over pressure, and connection over comparison. So if something in this video resonated with you, if you've faced any of these changes or found your own ways to handle them, we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share your experience. Your story could be the encouragement someone else needs right now. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Golden Minds, and join our community. A place where wisdom grows, strength is shared, and no one has to walk this path alone. Aging is a journey, and here you're always supported.